How's it going, everyone? Yeah, we're gonna continue on with our boards. This is the MPU that we're going to be using in our Star Trek. This is a Dash 35. This came out of my Black Pyramid. When I got the Black Pyramid, it would kind of work on and off, and I think it had bad game ROMs in it, or bad RAM chip, or the 6800 was bad in it. So we're gonna see if we can't get this going so we can put it in our Star Trek so we don't have to buy a new one. Kind of like to have an original in the Star Trek, but you know, whatever we got to do, we'll do. So first thing we got to do is this had let's see, 93 16s or 93 32s in it, and the ROMs that I burnt are 28C 16s, which are the same as the 27 16s. So what we have to do is we have to swap the jumpers around on this so we can use the 27 16s or the 28C 16s in this board. So we'll be removing all these jumpers and swapping a bunch of them around so this board will accept the new game ROMs. Each individual set of ROMs has different jumpers because of the different pin locations or designations for the address lines. Now I have the jumpers here. You see, we're going to be using all three of the 28C 16s, which we'll use the 27 16s. So we have to go through and get all these jumpers put where they belong so it will accept it. Like I said, this one I think had 3 in it, 3 or 2. No, it had the 3 in it. So it probably, I don't have the ROMs right here with me. I know one of them was a 93 16. It could have been that this only had two in it. The 16 means 16K, and same with the 32. That means a 32K. You can get away with using 2 on some of these, but we're going to use all 3 because that's the set of ROMs that I burnt for it. So first off, that's what we got to do. We have to set this board up with these jumpers. Like we need to go from jumper, or from spot 1 to 5. We have to put in a jumper from 1 to 5. You can see right there is 1, and right next to it is 5. So we have to put in a short jumper here, and so on. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'll go ahead and I'll get started, and I'll start putting in, taking some of these jumpers out and putting jumpers in. And that way we can run our 28C 16 ROMs in this. Okay, you can see I got 1 and 5 in, and I took out the 4 to 12. And now this is the reason that I save all my little cutoffs from when I'm doing. Oh shoot, I need one a little longer. This is why I save the cutoffs of all my resistors and capacitors and all that I take out, or put in. That way I can make jumpers. I knew eventually I'd be, oh come on fingers. Do 2 and 4. That's why you save all those cutoffs. You can make traces with them. You can use them for jumpers. They just come in handy. There, 2 and 4. And you have to remember, after you go through, put all your jumpers in, is you have to remove the ones that are on the board, because those are the, you know, you're not going to need those anymore. Now our next one is 7 and 8. So we need to locate 7 and 8. They always start with an E. That's 6. Okay, what do we got? 8 and 7. Now see, we have one here that's jumpered. 8 and 7 is jumped. Has a jumper in it. And we need, what did I say? 7 and 8. Oh, 7 and 8. Okay, that one is good. We don't have to mess with 7 and 8. Now we need 10 and 12. Here's 12 over here. And we need to find E10. E10. Okay, where are you? 12, 36, 13, 15. That's U10. We need E10. See it anywhere? That's 16A, 19, that's 34, 33, so you figure it's going to be up a little further. Since our high numbers are down here, 21, 22, there's 25 and 23. Keep going up. There's 24A. That's 3. Oh, there's 10. Okay. 10 and 12 is right next to each other. We have 10 and 11 are jumpered. And we have to pull that out and go from 12 to 10. Right? Yep, 10 to 12. Because then 11 goes to 25, which will be over here. So I'll get this undone and we'll get 10 and 12 put in. Alright, we got all of our jumpers in, but just let's make sure that we got them all. Let me get a pointer here. Okay, we need 1 and 5. There's 1 to 5. Oop, you can't see it. How about if I move you up a little bit? There you go. Let's see, here's 1 to 5. 2 to 4. There's 2 to 4. 8 to 10. 8 to 10. Whoops. Nope, 7 to 8. Sorry about that. There's 7 to 8. 10 to 12. There's 10, 12. And a big one. 11. 11 right here. All the way over to 25. That's one long one. And we need 13A. Let's see. 13A. What's that? That one's 10 to 12. There's, yep, 10 to 12. Then 11 here to 25. 13A to 14. To 13A. Okay, here's 13A. You can see it right there. To 14. And we need 16A to 18. Here's 16A to 18. 31 to 32. 31 to 32. Okay, here. 31 to 32. And then 33 to 35. 33, which is this inside one, to 35. And cut 13 to 15. Here's 13 to 15. There wasn't one in there. Okay, so we got all of our jumpers in. There's no extra jumpers that we need to cut out. So all of our jumpers are done. Now what we have to do is, for starters, I have to replace that socket that's missing right here. To replace that socket and put in a header. Once I do that, then we can populate our chips. I swiped that one because I needed it for another board, and I didn't have a new one, so I swiped it out of here because I knew this one was good. So now let me pull all these clips out of there and replace it with a brand spanking new socket, and I'll put a header in, and then we can populate it. Okay, we got our new socket put in and our header put on, and now we're ready to start populating. We'll put in our 6800 there. Let's see, I got a 5101. Come on. And we got our 6810. And surprisingly enough, I was able to save that one out of the old motherboard, the original. So if it works, we'll have one piece of the original Star Trek in it. Now our game ROMs, which I have them labeled upside down. Now, I got some brand new PIAs. We're going to put in our 6821s. Oops. Got one pin that missed. was going to happen. Broke them right off. Brand new. Wonder if those were pulls. Normally they don't break that easy. Okay, and our PIAs. One. Alright, now we got her all populated with all of our chips, and we're ready to test it out and see if it works. Let me straighten up here a little bit and then we'll get her hooked up and tested. We populated it and I put it on the test fixture, and this is what we get. We get a solid green LED. Now, on these, in order to just work on the board itself, you don't need to have everything populated. We put everything in just in case it did want to work. All you really need to have in these to work on the board to get your initial flash is your U6, your 6800, and your U11 PIA. I just left the 10 in there because it, you know, doesn't matter. So we have the solid light, and that is one of the worst things to have on these boards. That's the hardest to figure out what is going on, why you have a solid light. Sometimes it could be just that you have a bad 6800. You have to excuse me. I'm getting over that crud, so I'm going to be a little more off than usual. But normally it tells you that you start with your 6800. And we have a brand new 6800 in there. I tried the one that I know is good, and still a solid light. 2 PIAs are brand new. I did pull them out and swap them to see if our light we could get something, and we didn't. So I pulled all the other chips out, just left in our U6. That's the one that starts, that gives us our initial flash. So if we get the initial flash, we can move on from there and start putting in the other chips. I was kind of hoping that this board was just going to work for us right off the bat and we wouldn't have to do a whole lot to it, but I've been kind of working on this for about 3 days now because I don't spend much time out here because I just don't feel good. But anyway, I kind of narrowed it down to that our reset circuit right in this area. This is usually the corrosion area. That's usually where all the battery damage gets is right in this area, because it leaks and pukes all over the place, and them little critters creep and crawl all over and eat everything. Well, this one didn't have any battery damage on it, so we're gonna, you know, that's why I picked this one. I verified my jumpers. My jumpers are right for these chips, so we're good there. But we're not getting that initial flicker of our reset circuit working. So that's what I kind of narrowed it down to, to the reset area. And for one thing, see on pin 40, that's our reset circuit. There, oh, come on. Pin 40 is the reset circuit. And you can see we should have 5 volts. And because 5 volts is what activates the CPU. We only have 2.4. So we know that there's something going on in our reset circuit. The reset circuit uses the 12 volts and turns it into the 5 volts that the chip needs. Doesn't come off of the 5. That 5 volts runs the other chips. That's why, you know, you come in with your 12 volts here on test pin 2, 5 volts on test pin 5, and ground on test point 4 if you want to set up a bench fixture to test these. I'm using an arcade power supply. This one, oh, it's a Taiwan, but you know, it's working good enough for us. This one, why I'm using that one, because it has a minus 12 output on it, so we could use it on Gottlieb System 1s. So, you can use a regular computer power supply as well. That has a minus 12 too, so you can run that. This is just a good one that I had sitting there, and I just used it. But I kind of went through here and on our reset circuit and changed out a few things, changed a couple diodes, changed out our Q1, and our Q1, Q2, and Q5 transistors, and we still have the solid light. Changed out diodes, even though they tested good. Same thing. Changed out some resistors that seemed a little on the low side, and we still have the same thing. But I think I have narrowed it down to this C80. We have 5 volts on one side and absolutely nothing on the other side. Now, C80 may look like a diode, but it's actually a 0.01 UF ceramic capacitor. That little itty bitty dude right there, a 103. And let me get this, unplug that. Let me get this back to diode test. And diode test, we should have, you know, we have 0.035 and dead short. Oh, come here, you little dude. Now, let's see if we can test this little ceramic capacitor. You know, this isn't the right way to test a capacitor, but this was a way for me to... Okay. Nothing. And nothing. See, that capacitor is showing nothing. Now, if I test it on a known good board, I get a lot different readings off of this. Do I have one? Yeah, this is lightning. This is the one that was, it would boot now and then. Now in the board, you can see it'll test 0.550, and the other way it tests 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0.550. 0 come on, 0.435. So we know it's either that ceramic capacitor there or something adjacent to it is not letting it work. Now it could be that it could be that I just don't have the battery hooked up. But you know, I'm just kind of winging this, so have to bear with me here, and we're just going to do some work on this board and see if we can't get it to act right. Like I said, all the diodes and all that, they all checked out, you know, within specs, but you know, just by checking them with a diode tester on the digital multimeter doesn't really tell you that it's bad. It could be bad under a load. So that's why I just went ahead and changed out all the diodes, and I changed out all 3 of the transistors, just kind of hoping that maybe one of those they were testing good, but maybe they were breaking down under a load. But those are brand new, so now we know that's good, and we know our diodes are good, and we know we have a couple good resistors in there. Now there's only a couple other things left in this reset section, and that's some more resistors. Now these ones here, there's no voltage going through these because this is part of the solenoid, the 43 volts coming in, and we don't have that coming in. So these ones, you're not going to have any voltage on those when you test them with the board on. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to change out the C80 and put that little ceramic dude in there, and hopefully, cross your fingers, your toes, and whatever else you want to cross, that takes care of the problem. Alright, this is some of the footage that I lost after the when I was working on the MPU on Star Trek. I did replace that little ceramic capacitor, and it did absolutely nothing for us. I worked on that MPU for probably about 3 days after this. Just I kept trying things, trying to do this, and every once in a while I would get it to give me at least 3 flashes, and then I would work on it a little bit more, and then I would just get the solid light again, and then I would get a flicker, and it just, yeah, that MPU was just giving me fits. And so it came to the point where I was just spending way too much time screwing around with that thing. So I broke down and ordered a new one. You'll see in a later video that we did put a new Weebly MPU in it, and it's up and running. So I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you, and I hope to see you on the next episode when we start putting our back box together and getting it all ready to put on the machine. So until next time, hope you enjoyed a little extra of me painting the cabinet. See ya.